morning, CSL Greater Baltimore. My name is Heather Jones, and I am delighted to lead us in a meditation. So I invite us all to take a moment to let go of everything that came before this moment. I invite you to close your eyes, relax your body, and I invite you to take 3 deep breaths. And as you exhale, I invite you to do a long exhale, as if you're doing a long, as if you're breathing a deep sigh of relief. And as we quiet our minds and we get still, I know that we are anchoring and becoming more aware of the presence and the power, the stillness, the grace, and the peace of God that is right within us. This presence surrounds us. It goes before us. This presence is us, and we are it. We are one with God. God breathes us, and God loves us. So I invite us to relax into this truth that there's no place to go in this moment. There's nothing to do but simply be. Let us be still in the silence. If you find it hard to stay still, I invite you to just go back to the breath. Take another deep breath in and another long exhale. Another deep breath in and relax into a long exhale. I invite you again to take another relaxing breath. Inhale. Do a long exhale. So now it's time to come back to this space. Come back to the present moment. Come back to our awareness of where we are. I invite you to move your fingers, wiggle your toes, and carry the vibration with you, established during this meditation. I know that we are anchored in the stillness of God. We are anchored in our awareness of our oneness with God. God is expressing through us as us, going before us in this service. And so I'm just thankful for all the ways that we are aware of the stillness within, all the ways that we are aware of our oneness with God, all the ways that we are aware of the peace, the grace, the power, and the infinite good of God expressing in, through, and as us. We are God expressing. We are the light of God. And we are the peace of God. I give thanks for this and so much more. And I relax and allow it to be right now. And so it is. And so I let it be. Amen. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to be with everyone here and sharing this, the piece of this morning. Thank you, Heather, for a beautiful meditation. And I'm going to continue with some meditative music. The breath of the cosmos.
Good Sunday morning. And what a good Sunday morning it is. In order to help with our new method of recording our service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am your host, Tracy Rhymes. Our speaker today is Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician is Robert Hitz. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Heather Jones. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Ashlee Goldman and Sonya Chavis. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for your service. At CSL Greater Baltimore, every Sunday is an Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Remember that. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. We really would. Excuse me. Before Heather grounds us in prayer, let me share this about her. Heather Jones has been a licensed spiritual practitioner for 15 years. She resides in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area and currently serves as a licensed practitioner with both CSL Greater Baltimore and Agape International Spiritual Center. Heather practices recognizing the divine in, through, and as all. Committed to expressing and revealing spiritual truth, Heather is a dynamic practitioner who serves as a teacher, speaker, and spiritual counselor. She is known for her sacred processes of unconditional love, where she guides her clients to deepened spiritual awareness, healing, and transformation. She is available for individual spiritual counseling, workshops, and prayer.
Good morning. Welcome to CSR Greater Baltimore's Sunday service. I'm grateful and honored to do the opening prayer. And so I invite us all to close our eyes. I invite us to take a deep breath and do a long exhale. As we recognize that God is always available, always present, always expressing everywhere we are. God is divine love. God is stillness. God is peace. It is grace and harmony. It is the power that backs us all. It is the clarity that knows all. It is the peace that surrounds us all. God is our life. It is closer to us than our breath. It's nearer than our hands and our feet. It is our hand. It is our foot. God breathes us, carries us, and is us. I am one with God. I am one with all that God is. And I know that God expresses through and out each one within the sound of my voice. God is expressing through and as Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, through and as Tracy, through and as Robert Hitz, through and as us all. And so I bless our service. I bless this time that we have together. I know that everything that needs to be expressed easily expresses through us. I know I call for joy, delight, harmony, fun, freedom, clarity. I call forth confidence and assurance. I call forth the knowing of God, the knowing of who and what we are, the knowing of how powerful we are, how capable we are, how deeply and how powerfully we are blessed. I call for our knowing of our deepest truth, that we are as God created us. So I give thanks for everything that is about to occur. I bless Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. I bless Tracy. I bless Robert Hitz. I bless us all as we create the sacred space. We show up as God, as we know who we are. So with gratitude and thanksgiving, I rest in this truth and I allow it to be. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Heather. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. I have a few announcements for you. Ready? Yep, you are. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. First and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. Wednesday night, the Science of Mind Textbook Exploration Group, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And on Thursday nights, the study group facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. The discovery class is available online. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting cslgreaterbaltimore.org and cslgreaterbaltimore.com. There has been a recent request for a gathering to allow people to vent, converse, and move through the healing of the tension and frustration around the recent events. Today, after service, for a brief time, we will gather. All welcome, or all are welcomed. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore Ministry of Education has upcoming classes. ASL Level 1 through CSL for 8 weeks. This begins April 30th, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This introductory course will begin to lay the foundational pieces of ASL and the culture so that you can begin to build with ease, comfort, and fun. a greater understanding and fluency that will continue to build from the first to the final class. Foundations of Science of Mind, facilitated by Dr. Ronnie Ellington. If you are interested in taking Foundations, contact Sue Monahan. Once 4 or more people express a desire, a Saturday class will be scheduled. Conversations about race, racial literacy as a spiritual practice. Every second Wednesday of the month, 7 to 9 p.m. A year-long journey of experiencing racial literacy as a spiritual practice. As Centers for Spiritual Living holds the vision of creating a world that works for everyone, as our beacon, our spiritual work is in examining our thinking, both our personal thoughts and those passed on to us in a collective, socialized manner. Required reading is A Race is a Nice Thing to Have. That is a guide to being a white person or understanding the white persons in your life, by Janet E. Helms. Love offerings gratefully accepted. For more information, contact Rebecca Arena Beal at 410-340-4805 or Bella358 at Comcast.net. Mental Equivalence with Reverend Chris Ashlee, Senior Minister of Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, Falls Church, Virginia. Wednesdays, April 28th through May 26th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. All are welcome. Tuition is $170. Scholarships are available. Leap into a state of true potential by activating the powerful law of mental equivalence. For every formed thing in the universe, there is a corresponding mental image. Discover how to measure and expand thinking to create a larger mental image so that one's greatest desires may demonstrate. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website cslgreaterbaltimore.org or cslgreaterbaltimore.com to find more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. Would you like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray? Okay. If so, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. You will be glad you did. You would. For those of you joining us for the first time, and as a reminder to others, on the count of 3, we shout, prayer works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Woo! Okay. Y'all, all right. I like that. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time, and that's at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Our musician today is Robert Hitz. Classically trained, Robert's music touches the soul and creates the broad spectrum of emotions which fill our hearts with joy, love, and life. It takes one to a deeper understanding of our relationship to the magnificent creative source behind all creation. Since the dawn of the new millennium, Robert has shared his deeply creative gift with New Thought luminaries such as Gary Zuckerberg, Wayne Dyer, Mark Victor Hansen, Deepak Chopra, and Barbara Marx Hubbard. He also has been a featured artist at Whole Life Expos, Religious Science International Conferences, numerous spiritual centers, university concert series, and musical workshops. He's been doing a lot. Robert currently gives concerts, lectures, and workshops nationwide. Come on, Robert. Bless us. Thank you.
Well, let's see. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think we need to add Raymont Anderson to that list too. And it is great to be here today. And again, thank you, Heather, for that beautiful meditation. I'm going to guide us today to bring us in, and I'm actually going to use the first three letters of Heather's name. And that is going to be bringing us all together into this day. So this is for Heather. Namaste, everyone. And Heather, thank you again.
Thank you, Robert. Now Heather will lead us in a spiritual practice.
Thank you, Tracy. And thank you, Robert, for that beautiful music. And just continuing with the theme and the energy of the peaceful music that we just heard, I invite us to close our eyes one more time. And as we close our eyes, I invite you to relax your body and allow yourself to take 3 deep breaths. And as you continue to breathe, allow yourself to become aware of this energy of peace, an energy of softness. Tune into the calm that is in this very moment. Know that in this moment, nothing is required. That we are all in the right place at the right time, doing exactly what we need to be doing. There's no way to get it wrong. Let's just relax in that truth. Because the truth is, in this moment and in every moment, we are swimming and we are anchored in the fullness of God. We cannot get away from God. We don't even have to think about God to be in the stillness of God. We don't have to be aware of God to be in the presence of God. This presence knows all that needs to be known, all that needs to, this presence knows everything that needs to be known, that needs to be known. This presence surrounds us, guides us, breathes us. This presence is us. We are it. So I invite us to tune into the presence within. The presence of God shows up as unconditional love, as intuition, as peace, as grace, as abundance. It is right at the center of our being. We are anchored in it. And all we need to do is get quiet and tune in within. As we quiet the chatter in our minds, the clarity and the knowing of God is right where we are. So I give thanks for this opportunity that we have to just simply be, to be present, to be available, to be aware of God. I know that as we anchor into the presence within us, we are available to be used. We're available to express. We are available to be everything we came here to be. We're available to step out in clarity and confidence and knowing the power of God expresses as us, goes before us, and is us. So I give thanks for this right here, right now, as I relax and release this word into the law and allow it to be. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Heather. All right. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Rev, come do what you do.
Muchas gracias, mi amiga. I have no idea why that's funny to her.
You know why that's funny. It's an inside joke. Don't even try it.
So, folks, are we ready today?
We're ready. Are you ready?
Nope.
Going the wrong way.
Yeah, messing with you.
Messing with me.
Messing with you.
Messing with me.
So, folks, so today's going to be one of those kind of days. Tracy likes to refer to these days as stepping on toes. So just let us be prepared. And if I need to share the name of my podiatrist with you, just let me know. So if we're ready, let's jump on in.
We're ready.
Joseph Campbell said, "We must be willing to let go of the life we had planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us." So let's pause there for a second. We have to let go of, sometimes you have to let go of this idea, this plan that we want, and step into a place of willingness to be our greater yet to be. We gratefully step out of what has been and confidently step up into our greatness, perpetually flowing in each moment by moment now, excited to blaze a new trail of spiritual awareness. What have we learned thus far on our life's journey? And what gifts are we bringing to the new leg of our journey? What will we share with those who travel with us? Because we understand it's not just a journey about what I want and where I'm going. It's about what we as a collective are doing, how we are shifting and moving the collective consciousness to manifest a world that works for all. And this is one of those places where we often get in our own way, because as Robert Burns says, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. In other words, no matter how well you plan, there is no guarantee of success. I understand the concept, but by whose definition are we judging success? I mean, pause and take that in, because what he's saying is tied in greatly to this idea of success means house, white picket fence, 2.5 children, a dog, a cat, a canary, X amount of dollars in the bank, whatever. But what if success is not measured in the way that he's referring to? So let's think about, we have a plan, and we think our plan is it's like geometry, the shortest distance. Hey, don't judge me. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. You keep messing with me, Tracy. You're gonna be up here delivering this message. Hey. The shortest distance, and if Sue is on, she's gonna probably mess with me about it because I'm creating another word. We think A and B, shortest distance, but oftentimes what happens in our life is, in order to get to B, we got to go from A to Q, to 7 to 9, back to A, to D, to 19, to Q. Didn't we do Q before? Now we're at M, now we're at C, now we're at A, now we're at B. See, oftentimes in our life, the plan we think is the plan is not necessarily the plan. Pause and breathe, because we often also refer to this idea of man plans while God laughs. Because we often think about, well, I have my plan, but then there is the plan that God has for my life. And that's okay if that's the idea that is most comfortable for you. However, I encourage us to shed that idea, because this idea of I have a plan for your life, yeah, that's not true. Well, if not you, meaning if not God, then who is it that has this plan for our life? You. Keep that in mind. There is no anthropomorphic God outside of us that is determining, that is shaping, shifting, determining our destiny by there is some pre-planned plan created by the universe that says, Ray, you will become a minister. Heather, you will become a practitioner. Robert Hitz, you will become a master of music and the piano. There is no anthropomorphic deity, because if we buy into that idea, then there's God and us. There's that separation. So in the Bible, in James 1, verse 2 through 4, consider it all joy when you encounter various trials, because the testing of your faith produces endurance, so that you may be lacking in nothing. Now let's keep in mind, because that idea from the Judeo-Christian tradition is still a concept that we have even in New Thought, where we feel like there is a power and a presence that is testing us, that is shaping us, and that our faith can be tested. Well, if there's a test, then once again, there has to be the teacher, the student and the test that is given. That's still separation. That's still thinking about God or the universe as an anthropomorphic deity that is saying, in order for Ray to be what I want Ray to be, I must place before him various trials and tribulations to craft, to push, to urge him to go where I want him to go. There is no I that is outside of any of us that is doing that. Our faith need not be tested. You know, oftentimes we'll say things like, such and such happened so that I can learn the lesson. This whole thing with racism. Well, racism is happening and we see such injustices so that humanity is brought to a place of being woken up to evolve. Well, once again, then that means there is something outside of us that has deemed us in need of learning a lesson and becoming evolved. Well, then that means we're not currently right now whole, perfect, and complete. If we are saying that tragedy has to happen for us to wake up, then we should be celebrating the tragedy. Why change the tragedy? When it happens, dance in the streets. Oh, there's another hurricane and people died. Yes, yay, team. It's an opportunity for us to wake up and evolve, because that's God's plan for us. Really? That's not the most mature spiritual position. Ernest Holmes says in The Anatomy of Healing Prayer, we believe in divine patterns and not divine plans. In other words, there is a pattern. The universe has a pattern. It has a structure. And when we work in concert with it, which on some level we always are, even when things don't go the way we want them to go, there is still a plan, a pattern. Gravity works based upon a specific idea in physical law. Spiritual law operates the same way. So there is no divine plan created by some anthropomorphic deity that is determining who and what we are, how and where we go and what we, no. So I invite us to step into that and marinate on that idea, because there are times where we will reiterate for comfort's sake. Well, Tracy, you do know that it's part of God's plan. You do know that God's only providing you the opportunity to learn this lesson in our human skin. Well, Reverend Ray, where is this God that wants me to learn this lesson? Why are you asking me these difficult questions, Tracy? Right? So let's evolve. Let's invite ourselves to simply be present in the, where do I use that old language that is not representative? It is not representing, it is not a demonstration of who I choose to be right now and how I choose to be that right now. Ernest Holmes also said in this thing called You, the greatest gift, life, and notice life, capital L, so that means God, the greatest gift that creation could have made to you is yourself. You are a spontaneous, self-choosing center in the great drama of being, the great joy of becoming, the certainty of eternal expansion. Why is this so? Because there is only God and what it is you are. So the very same power and presence that is everything shows up in your choosing. When you choose, God is choosing. When you walk, Spirit is walking. When you rest, the universe is resting. When you eat, that which is the divine is eating. There is only what it is showing up in, through, and as each and every one of everything that is. So there is no God's plan for Ray. There is only what is Ray's plan in activating the divine awareness of my being, recognizing that my thoughts in my mind are in the one mind that is God itself. There is not my mind and a separate mind that is God's mind. There is only the one mind, God itself, and all that is occurring, every thought is occurring in the mind of God. So when Tracy is thinking, today I shall be Lumberjack Joe. Long story, I'll explain later. When Tracy is thinking, today I shall be Lumberjack Joe, she is engaging the will of God that is her own self-choosing center, the very center of her being. God itself choosing to express itself as Lumberjack Joe. Stop laughing. Marianne Williamson said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Let's think how many times those plans that we lay don't go the way we planned because we're afraid of something. In the same way that life presents various things before us, and oftentimes we feel like we are walking on hot coals. We feel like, we have to rush, we have to run. We approach the excitement of whatever this is with hesitation, fear, doubt, rather than the excitement of whatever this experience is. I choose. There is no God outside of me choosing for me to learn. I choose who and what shall be evoked and invoked, how I shall involve and evolve in my life, no matter what it is. So when we approach it as an opportunity, not an obstacle, each of these women sees this fire pit as an opportunity, as a threshold to move to a more expanded. They are stepping out and stepping up to become greater versions of themselves, not because there is a greater version that they can be. They are all that is. But as we confront that fear that Marianne Williamson is talking about, then we experience, wow, I had no idea that I am that magnificent. Even in the midst of my doubting, I am still that which is magnificence itself. Even when I am afraid, I am that which is power itself. Even when I am the most lonely in feeling, I am that which is compassion and love made flesh. And walking across the fires of life bring me back to this awareness of the truth of my being. Not an obstacle, but an opportunity. Michelle Obama says, you can't make decisions, and actually you can though, you can't make decisions based on fear and the possibility of what might happen. Not if, and there's a ... not if you want to step up and step out into your greatest yet to be. Because if you are making decisions based on fear and the possibilities of everything that could go wrong, we would never leave our homes. We would never get out of the bed because Tracy and I could get in the car to drive to Walmart. What might happen? Car accident, our death. I'm not going. Why would we ever get back on a plane to fly anywhere? What might happen? Dude, have you? No. Why go to a beach? There's sharks. Might happen. Why do anything? Why eat this? It might be food poisoning. We're going to just sit in the bed and starve to death because of everything that might happen causes us to freeze and become immobile. But we do that very same fearful thing when we're, well, I don't want to ask this person on a date because what might happen? They might say no. Yeah, they might say no, but they might say yes. Well, I don't want to go on this audition because the casting directors might say no. Well, yeah. And they might say yes. Ooh, but if they say yes, and I get cast in that movie, what if I don't do a good job? What if you do? But what if I do and then I get an Oscar? Everyone's going to expect me to always be an Oscar award winning, like every movie I make from this point has to be Oscar worthy. Who said that? Every movie that Denzel Washington is in, he doesn't get an Oscar for every single movie. Did you just compare me to Denzel Washington? Oh my goodness, I can't handle the pressure, the fear, dude, breathe, calm. Didn't Heather say, take 3 deep breaths, calm yourself, get in your own lane and chill out? How often do we do this idea of perseverating, like we're walking on this tightrope of any slight move and everything's going, and I'm going to fall and plummet to the ground. Oh, dear God, help me. You said, oh, dear God, help you. Where's the dear God that you're talking to? It's you. So if you are feeling afraid and hesitant, then sit with it. Pause and breathe. Examine it, observe it, identify what is causing me to not step forward, not step up, not step out. What is causing me to recede into the background of my life, into the background of living, into where I'm now simply existing. You know, we think of zombies in movies as they are the undead. They have arisen and come back to eat brains and flesh. No, zombies are people who do not truly live. They simply exist. They do the same things over and over again, same paradigms over and over again, same fears, doubts, and worries over and over again without change. They'll talk about change, but won't do it. They'll talk about being courageous and brave, and it lasts for 72 hours, and then it reverts back. Yeah. Today's invitation is, when it is most scary to step out on the tightrope, to step into the fire pit, to step into life and engage it, do it. That's your faith. Your faith is the energy of motion, the energy of action. And if we want to really understand and really engage and really thrive in life, then we must stop sitting in the bleachers watching others playing the game. And I understand that there's a lot of things that go on in everybody's life. Everybody's got something going on. Whether we think we are jugglers or not, everybody somewhere, some way, shape, or form has something. Question is, does that something overwhelm, or does that something become a point of choice where we say, whoa, Tracy, we all juggle. My question is, why do you choose to juggle 3 balls and I'm juggling 72? To which Tracy says, because you choose to juggle 72. I choose to juggle 3. So wait a minute, you telling me I have a choice? Yes. So what am I supposed to do? Drop a couple of them. But if I drop them, how will they ever get done? They will get done. If they need to get done, then you'll pick them up when it is time for them to get picked up, or you'll delegate them. Matter of fact, I'm doing 3 right now. I can take 2 more. What? Yes, that's called delegating. No. Yes. When we choose to be our most empowered and authentic selves, we, in concert with the law of mind and action, create the very pathways to making it show up and demonstrate in ways that we just let it go. Like we often think, but I must know how. No, you don't need to know how. You just need to know what. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to experience? And then engage the processes of manifesting that with clarity. Brene Brown says, daring greatly means the courage to be vulnerable. Ooh, fire pit. Ooh, juggling. Ooh, tightrope. Vulnerable. That's a curse word for Tracy. Tracy's like, it means to show up and be seen, to ask for what you need, to talk about how you're feeling, and to have the hard, the challenging, the vulnerable conversations. If we're going to dare greatly, dare to have the audacity to talk about a world that works for all, to have the audacity to talk about manifesting our vision and our dreams, and then we need to have the courage to be vulnerable and engage the process by which we move into our greater yet to be. You know, how many times have you know, there are several folks on the call right now I know who have been teachers or are teachers now. And many of us, we were students at some point, and the teacher asked you a question and you're like, nope, oh, got to look through my notebook.
Maybe I'll be invisible.
Maybe I'll be invisible. Because if I give direct eye contact, then Dr. Ronnie might call on me. And nope, so I'm going to look in my notebook. And that's what Tracy said. That's exactly what makes Dr. Ronnie call on you, because she sees, Ray, are you trying to avoid eye contact with me? Bruh, look at me. What's the answer? I don't want to answer because I might be wrong. But you might not be wrong. You might be right. But let's say you don't have the answer that I'm seeking. When I, the teacher, now know this, I am able to help you get the answer. So when we look at our own lives and we're like, I don't want to step forward. I don't want to volunteer. I don't want to raise my hand. Then there's a level of, Tracy's giggling at me. There's a level of what we are saying to life is, don't choose me. Inspiration, don't move through me and make me want to do something great. Music, don't move through me to make me want to create. Art, don't move through me to make me want to paint and draw. Don't move through me. Leave me alone and let me sit here and watch others live. If we're going to actually move forward and live our lives, then we must be willing to take the first step. Don't need to worry about the rest of the staircase. One step at a time. Step up, step out, be willing. Ernest Holmes said, we must climb over the rocks of unbelief, pass around the barriers of doubt, and plunge into the stream with faith. Climb, pass around, and plunge. Verbs. We are invited to act, to get involved, to get engaged, to be turned on by life. And if we look at our lives and say, you know, I'm 55 at this present moment, what have I learned through life? What has come before me as an opportunity? Everything has, but am I willing to see it as that? So what have I learned from school, from life, from culture, society, from church, quote unquote, from nature? What have these teachers afforded me the opportunity to learn in the classroom of? Or was I too busy making spitballs to blow at Tracy? And I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't willing to raise my hand. I wasn't willing to engage. What have I learned about myself, life, God, relationships, money? Recognizing that each of these can be broken down. Body, triggers, friends, thoughts, feelings, etc. What have I learned about myself through the very traumas and triggers that I may still feel and occur in my life today. For example, next month is May. What happens in May? What holiday is in May?
Memorial Day.
Mother's Day.
Oh.
This Mother's Day will be the first Mother's Day that I have experienced
Mother's Day.
that my mother has made her transition. Does that trigger me? What feelings does it bring up in me that, wow, this is the first year that I'm not sending my mother a Mother's Day card? Wow. If I do not sit with that, then that trigger might be causing pain and emotions to well up within me that if I stifle them and bypass them and am not engaged with them, then I'm not giving myself the opportunity to engage life fully. I'm not giving myself the opportunity to be vulnerable, knowing that vulnerability and courage, knowing that daring greatly and courage and vulnerability, I must be willing, if it's what I want, then I must be willing to examine all of this stuff and say, who am I as a result of this? Who do I choose to be as a result of all of this? Ernest Holmes says, sit quietly by yourself and know that as God's child, keep in mind, this is Ernest Holmes writing back in 19, you're not God's child, you are the infinite. You are it. So sit quietly by yourself and know that you are a divine incarnation of God. Your wisdom is unlimited, right? So let's look at certain things in this. Your wisdom is unlimited. Believingly, know that the universal spirit, all wisdom, is now making known to you everything you need to know in order to make right decisions, correct choices, proper plans. You need to convince yourself again and again that infinite wisdom is yours to use as you choose. Know that it responds immediately to your every demand. Believe it. Joyously accept it. Continue to assert this, and your way will be made plain to you. We seek to make our dreams come true. And unless our dreams are subjective hallucinations, they will become actual experiences if we demonstrate our principle. Because true ideas pass through to accomplishment. When we engage the practice, the creative process, then our dreams are given the way to become reality. So let's ask, making your dreams come true, do you know what your dreams are? Because many of us say we have dreams, but if asked, can you clarify it in a very clear, concise, and powerful manner? What steps of the creative process am I using to manifest my dreams? How often do I check in with myself? How often do I assess where I am, where I'm going, what I'm doing, evaluating where I am, what needs to happen, recalibrating? Oh, I'm slightly off course. I'm traveling due west and I should be going east. Recalculating and then move in the direction that I have set course to move. But if we don't do the work, then the manifestations of the default setting of mass consciousness and whatever we buy into, lack, scarcity, fear, not enough time, not enough money, not enough help, not enough something, not enough. Oh, so God is a God of lack, scarcity, and not enoughness. Well, no, Ray, God is infinite and but if you don't have enough, then God doesn't have enough. So if you want to have, then you must find that place within self where I believe and I am making access to the not enoughness. And ultimately what we're saying is there's not enough time, not enough money, not enough help, not enough me. There's not enough me. I'm not enough to manifest and create accordingly. And so the work is recognize that you are enough, more than enough. You are already right here and right now, whole, perfect, and complete. It's time to step out onto that, step into it, step forward and live from that awareness. This week, what is something I planned one way that worked out better than planned in a totally different way? Journal that. Ask yourself that. I planned it one way, it worked out, but in a completely different way than I had planned. How did that happen? What do I attribute this experience to? Tracy's messing with me this morning. Get her, Dana. Tell her to leave me alone. What do I attribute this experience to? Did I surrender? Well, like what? I planned it one way and it happened, but it happened in a completely different way. Do I attribute that to an anthropomorphic God that is separate from me saying, yeah, I had a plan, God laughed, and God made my plan work out in a different way? Oh, I'm believing in an anthropomorphic God that chose something for me instead of as me. Just marinate. Where in my life am I currently feeling like my plans or my dreams are not manifesting as desired? What does this feel like? Is there anything that I am being invited to do differently? Am I invited to surrender? Am I invited to reassess, refocus, recalibrate? Am I invited to engage the creative process in a different way? What am I invited to do? What am I invited to be? Where is one place this week that I can step forward, step out of my comfort zone or zone of same old business as usual model and engage life in a more courageous and faithful manner? And then have a conversation with two people about your process of going from dream and planning to creating or co-creating and manifesting. Just have a chat with somebody, dos personas, about this idea of what does it mean for, in my mind, how do I create? And if I say I co-create, then who am I co-creating or what am I co-creating with? And if it's manifesting and I don't use or it's attracting, like whatever the words are, have a conversation with someone about it. Because as we speak, oftentimes we'll say something and we're like, oh, I didn't realize that was what I was thinking until I said it out loud. Wow. Today's declaration or affirmation, I will read it first and then together. I confidently step up and into my greatness. Together, I confidently step up and into my greatness. And we breathe and we take that in as we now prepare our hearts, our minds, our bodies for the vibration of greatness that is coming to us right now through the music and the majesty and majesticness of Robert Hitz.
Well. I am going to step up and thank you, Raymont. That was quite something. And so I will confidently step up into creating for all of this. I'm going to record this too, Raymont, so I'll be able to send it to you. So for all of us, I'd say for courage and hope and confidence. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. Really a great pleasure, as always.
Thank you so much, Robert. I think I echo the sentiment that Nancy just typed in the chat, that many of us feel that your music, like it changes us. And I, for one, most certainly appreciate you and the gift that you bring to the world. So we breathe in this gratitude and this joy of simply being present as a community, being present as the divine incarnations of God, just being present and aware and available to our greater yet to be, that we choose moment by moment, thought by thought. So at this point of service, we are engaging in the spiritual practice of donating and tithing and supporting the community. As Tracy always likes to say, the business aspect, the nuts and bolts, the keeping the lights on. And even though right now there is no building for us to keep lights on for, what we are doing is paving the way so that we know that our search committee has already, we are knowing this, that our search committee has already found the right and perfect next new home for CSL Greater Baltimore. And so the money that is being donated and tithed right now is the money that is creating and crafting and building and supporting this community in this building, with all that this building does for our spiritual community and for the greater Baltimore region. So we're knowing that. And part of that knowing comes via the practitioner corps that has pledged by the end of this year $25,000 on top of their already scheduled monthly tithes. Thus far, as of April 21st, that amount is $2,365. Our community's matching pledge it's coming.
Change.
Yes.
It's going to change. It will change in May.
It is changing. It is changing. Right. I was waiting for that positive, creative, that life affirming affirmation that
my affirmation is May, you will see a different total.
There is no May. There's only now. So what we are knowing is that it is there.
Changed.
Thank you, Tracy.
Changing is just not on there.
Thank you, Tracy. I gave her the opportunity. I'm gonna have to talk to Eugene, because Tracy was in the scientific art of prayer. Let me stop before Dana tells me leave my Tracy alone. Exactly. So our conscious spiritual investing happens a variety of ways. You can do so through PayPal. You can do so through text messaging or text to give. And you can do so through the postal mail service, where you send a check, a money order, or whatever it is that you are sending via the mail service.
And it works well.
And it works well. And if you want more information on how to divide your offering to a particular aspect or a particular ministry, feel free to reach out and ask, where can I divide? Where can I multiply? Where can I give? Or you can always go to our website /give for more information. Together, let us declare our financial wealth and abundance. You ready, Tracy?
I'm ready.
Okay. I was going to sign it, but
Go ahead.
Nope, because we already have an interpreter on there. And who is it? Who's interpreting? Ashlee's interpreting. Ashlee's probably like, go ahead, Ray, do it.
Yep, she nodded. She smiled.
Okay, that's fine. I'll go ahead and do it. I need Tracy to read loud.
She's happy.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent. I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all.
And so it is. Thank you. So this time, let us say, be awesome.
Woo! Be awesome.
And the church said, amen.
Amen.
Y'all should see her. Oh, I wish I had another camera in here so y'all could see this. Be awesome today, as Tracy said. So in every language, in every way that we can express, thank you for being who you are. Merci. Domo arigato. Merci. Muchas gracias. Like, thank you. Xie. Thank you so much. Danke. Thank you so much for being who you are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me.
Thank you.
At this time, know that you are able to type the word prayer in the chat box so that you can have one-on-one prayer with our practitioner of the day. And if there are other practitioners available to also serve and do double, triple duty, we will make sure you get prayer today. And if by chance you're not available to stay today, know that you can always send an email for prayer requests, or you could request a practitioner contact you and pray with. Like, just know that where there is a will and a willingness, there is a way. So if you're not available to stay today, prayer can still occur. But if you want, go ahead and type that into the chat box. And if you are staying for the gathering, the brief gathering today for us to move through this healing process, then just stay on the call. So once everything is, taken care of, then I will go ahead and open us up and we will move forward. And at this time, let us simply anchor and ground, recognizing that the magnificence, the joy and the peace of unity that Heather started us with at the pre-service meditation, on through the music of Robert Hitz and on through Tracy's divine silliness and grace and ease, on through the message, the giving, the tithing, on through until now, that this beingness that we are, this joy, this love, this sense of unity and oneness doesn't stop when service stops. So the awesomeness and our ability to step out and step up continues moment by moment, minute by minute, forever. That there is no end to what God is as us. That this breath that God is breathing itself as us, this divine ruach, breath of God, breathes forever. This consciousness breathes forever, creates forever, is forever. And so we step out of service, stepping into being of service, showing up in the world as the divine face of and hands of the presence of God, recognizing that we may be the only affirmation someone sees. We may be the only declaration of someone, the only declaration of truth that someone gets to experience. We may be the only expression of love that is God itself, that lifts and shifts the consciousness of this person and that person, of this neighborhood and that street. And so we willingly step out and step up into this love and life and joy. Surrendered into the law because I know it is, and know it is done so well. Together we touch and agree and say, and so it is. Namaste and blessings, everyone. Love you. See you soon.